Windblade, the fan grade character with an iffy toy history. But let's check out the new one, Legacy United Windblade. So, if you're unfamiliar with the character, she was in fact the first fan created character. We were given a poll, created a character, named her Windblade. She debuted in the Thrilling 30 toy line to mixed results. Mostly the toy was kind of naff. It had a lot of physical issues, production issues, stability issues. And then we saw Windblade after Windblade after Windblade try and refine the design. She appeared in Titan's Return as a remold of Scourge slash Highbrow. Not the best mold. Not a fan of that Highbrow, and I sold off my Scourge. But she was in the Machinima shows. Blech. She was in RID 2015, as a soldier on a mission from God. That's not my wording, that's literally on the wiki. All the way to Cyberverse, where she was just Bumblebee's mate. And thus spawned this toy, based off that design. And it is a very good toy. The more I played with it, the more I like it, honestly. I wasn't sure if I was going to be a big fan, based on these tiny fans. I like it. Uh, Another thing about the Thrilling 30, Windblade, when she was first created, her job was essentially public speaking. She, she was the city speaker. And you might not think that's an important job or that's kind of a BS, but like, you need people to talk to the civilians when you're in a million-year-old war. And you need to convince a city of Autobots that, yes, Optimus Prime is fighting for the right side. That kind of thing. So it is important. And for a lot of people, public speaking is a hard thing to do. But let's talk about the actual design. I like the switch up of her colors. When she debuted, it was more like black focused with red accents. This has gone completely inverted. With, as you can see, red with black accents of this light blue. And her iconic head sculpt. Her geisha head sculpt. Looking very disappointed in you. I like all the tiny detail. The red picking out and highlighting her blue eyes. The little bits of gold there. Now, I'm not 100% up on geisha and kabuki. But like, I think their masks are normally like white, but it makes sense to be silver for a robot. Yeah. Proportionally, she looks good. As a female transformer, things are a bit polygonal. And as you can tell, she's got a fairly decent sized backpack. This is the entire front of her jet mode. It makes a handy holding spot to show her to a camera. And she's far from the worst backpack fiend I've ever seen. To segue, here are some other female characters with, I'd say, less of a backpack. Override. No backpack at all, and damn it. GoBot. Uh, I'm struggling. Damn it. Oh. I'll remember her name at some point. Like, it's Crasher. What do you have? Slag for brains? And an even bigger backpack fiend, Minerva. So, I am not mad on this backpack. The rest of the robot is very clean and puts stuff to good use. I like the silver venting on her shins, on her knee-high boots. That will probably take an eye out with how pointy they are. As much as it doesn't make sense in robot mode, it makes more sense in jet mode. Very tiny Autobot symbol right there. If I can focus on it for a couple seconds. Features, you can rotate her VTOLs, which are her signature thing. If you prefer the gray, or if you prefer the black. I believe one is cartoon accurate, one is toy accurate. Mind you, this is the only actual posable version of Cyberverse Windblade. All the rest are like one-step changers or really crappy, unarticulated figures. So you can choose. I like the sort of gunmetal pointing forward to match her stomach. And she does look a bit bland without one of her accessories. Again, to tie in with her theming. This is a headdress, so to speak. I don't know the technical term for it. I looked at it. I can't remember. But it can, in fact, be placed in her hand in a kind of undocumented feature because it's not on the box. Wait, she hold it again. Oh yeah, it kind of be best to hold it like that. But she can actually hold her headpiece, and presumably smack Autobots in the face, just like a Spanish mother would, a little chancla. Or, preferably, you can plug it into the back of her head. Right into a spot right there. And it gives her head a really nice pop of gold. It's also very nicely detailed. Her only other accessory is this blazing sword in a nice shade of purple with a sort of VTOL design in the handle. It fits well in her hand. Also having a rectangular peg, but a standard circular handle as well. So she has a better grip on it. And despite not having a wrist hinge, she's actually fairly dynamic in sword poses. I forgot weapon storage. She's got a port on each hip to store the sword, and she has almost enough articulation to commit seppuku. I mean, grab her sword. Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha. A ball joint at the neck. Every ball joint can be a don't rip off jobby. The shoulders can go all the way out that far. You can go forwards all the way. You can go back and bump into the wings right there. The elbow is a hinge along with the rotation of the bicep swivel. I think the bicep swivel gives her the most dynamicism with her sword. Because she does have a wrist swivel. And that, I guess, plays into it as well. Depending on what you want. I looked at this design and thought there wasn't a waist swivel, but it's fairly uninhibited. And kind of looks like it blends in. It doesn't really look like there's a straight cut for it. Looks good. Hips. Go all the way forward, go all the way back. They can go out all the way. Thigh swivel is in front of the joint, so it moves like that. The knee can go 90 degrees, although if you want to get the transformation joint involved, it doesn't really do anything. The ankle has a bit of a toe joint, mostly for transformation, but it does also feature a fairly deep ankle pivot. So yeah, overall good articulation. The wings also have articulation, but they are hindered by the backpack. And that backpack will be our segue into transformation. So fold these around. You don't have to. Split the backpack. So like that. Fold each piece of it out. Fold nose cone up. And this is optional, but I like to fold the landing gear out now because it tabs in right there. And when it gets into jet mode, it's very hard to get a grip in there to pry it out. It's doable. It's just way easier to do it right now. And then when her wings are straight, you bring up the whole cockpit and wrap it around her head. Now the instructions tell you to remove the headpiece for this. I guess they think clearance is an issue, but like I find you don't have to. I find that it actually sits there and doesn't get in the way of anything as you close the front of the jet up. There you go. Now you want to lock these shoulders into place. It sits well with everything. Rotate the waist so the shins are here. You want to fold that bit up on both sides, and you want to bring it all the way up like that. You can fold the side wings out and fold the tail fin all the way up and fold the feet down. And this is a good time to plug the wing, plug the sword into the wing. Actually, it's more like it goes in between your feet for storage. It's actually shaped, I think, to go. It doesn't. Yeah, it's shaped to fit best like that. But then you can use this Combiner Wars style hinge assembly to bring her shin all the way up there to where her hand will peg in right there. And you can bring the wing right there, which sends the sword flying, apparently. I will then plug it back in. So on this side, you can fold this red panel right up there, and it'll tab in right there. So do the same thing on the other side. Bring it all the way up. You might want to get the wing out of the way. But make sure the legs are tabbed together at here, right there, and right in there. Do the same thing. Tab the red panel and just give it a good squish to make sure everything is secure. And once you tab the hand in and the wing, you have her completed jet mode. That is an interesting transformation. It's not the most complex or really creative, but like I like the way the jet canopy is formed. That's really cool. The way it splits and surrounds her head. I really like that. Ooh, hold on. There we go. No, her tail fin does not want to cooperate right now. Okay. And this is her latest version of her VTOL jet alt mode. It does feel like it's stealing a bit of thrust vibes, I will admit. Yeah, I like the venting detail in this mode a bit more. It makes sense as intakes. The blue egg-shaped doesn't really make much sense here, but unfortunately we kind of have to sacrifice some things for the jet mode. Speaking of sacrifice, hello. She's mostly right there. Her hands are even visible from the top side. That's unfortunate. I wish they could have come up with something else, but this is what we got. While it doesn't look super great from the bottom, I do really like the look from top side. It feels like a, dare I say, cohesive jet. Like, I like the way the wings blend into the shins. It almost gets away with having the shins topside, how they connect to the wings like that. Like, that's been an issue on previous Windblade designs, is the shins just sitting up top and poking out super obviously like red traffic cones in the middle of a black jet. Really didn't make sense. I really like the sword storage. It looks like exhaust fumes, like, or like an effect part. That's really cool. And they tried with these panels to cover up some bits. I appreciate the panels because they hide the gaps in robot mode, but they do hide a tiny bit in jet mode. And just to show you, I'll plug the landing gear back in just to show you it's, yeah, about that difficult to unpeg it. So it's not super difficult, but if you want easier time, do it while transforming. And you do have 4 ports on her wings for optional guns and things. She doesn't have a gun. She only comes with the blazing sword and the head fin. What do I have? I'll just grab a gun from somebody. This is Jazz. He's in a future video, but just to show you, you can plug a gun or up to 4 guns under her wings. Maybe not. I wouldn't recommend using these 2 inner pegs ports, but you can use the outer ones. And the jet mode wings have about that much articulation. And they can fold completely backwards, but that's more during transformation, I would say, because now they're blocked by the knees. But you do have a little bit of playability in this mode. Shrug. Would you call it playability? Besides the VTOLs being rotatable? I don't know. Oh, she even got ports on the sides of her legs, if you can figure out something to do with that. And I forgot to mention the thrusters of the jet mode are her heels in robot mode. That's really smart design. Especially with the tail fin also providing heel support, she is definitely the most stable Windblade toy you can find. So, I think this Windblade scored a goal. Definitely. If you're looking for, I don't want to say like the ultimate toy for her, just the best toy so far, I would recommend this one for this character. Like, if you're not a fan of the character, maybe wait for the inevitable Gen Select's Slipstream, if Gen Select is still alive. at this point, because this mode is probably going to look pretty sick in purple. Just like almost every Windblade recently has been. No, that was just the Thrilling 30 that got repainted into Slipstream. Maybe. You never know. It could happen. I don't know, Wave 5 of Legacy or whatever could come after Legacy if Gen Select has truly died. If you're just looking for a good Windblade toy that's easy to transform and honestly has a few good features, like the posability, especially with the sword, is better than I expected. Like it makes the most of what it has to provide some very fun sword poses, despite not having the one joint you would expect a swordsman to have. I think I would be perfectly comfortable with having her dual Armada Starscream. So thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Uh, Back of the net. Another goal for Legacy. Where are we going to go next time? You'll just have to tune in to find out. But just know we might get musical. Keep it weird. Bye.